Good morning. This is Anne from LaBellaDonnaVintageCreations, and I thought I would bring to you something that I had worked on last summer and the beginning of fall. I had planned to make these books. I saw some crafters on these DIY home decor channels on YouTube that were making the books. They were painting them with chalk paint. They were rubbing some images on there. They were maybe putting some inspirational wording on the sides or whatever. Gorgeous. And they were stacking them and wrapping them in a ribbon or something, and they could be using them on the table or on a bookshelf. Or I actually had bought from the Goodwill. I bought 3 books that were just painted actually white, and they had some inspirational things on the binding in the back there. And I thought, you know what, they are really cute. So, and I had mine on my shelf on top of my fireplace. But what I decided to do was to look into it and see how I could do it my way and make them, instead of making them kind of DIY for decor like they were doing, I wanted my own take on it. And I wanted to age the books. I wanted them to be old and have a character to them and have some depth and just wanted to do it my way. And I started doing a little research on Pinterest, and I found that some things on Pinterest were showing these, let me see, let me take one here to show you, where they were putting these medallions and things in the corners and adding some little three-dimensional stuff, and they were using silicone molds. And I had started buying some silicone molds because I was doing other things with the silicone molds in the past. So I thought, you know what, let me buy them. I bought some at Temu. At that time, you could get better deals than you can now. I don't buy from them anymore, but I do have a lot in my stash. Well, I decided to go to get this started, and I had bought, not only did I have the molds, but I had purchased some air dry clay, and it's under you can get that on Amazon, which I did, and it comes in different sizes, but I had gotten a very large box of it, and it was under either Crayola or there's another one that it could be under. It's for school stuff. But what I wanted to use it for at that time was I was making all these little balls with the hole in it so that I could string them with a knot in between and make a long one and put it on the ends to have, I painted them gray, and on the ends I put some really pretty tassels so that you could wrap it around maybe a candle or something that you'd have in the living room. It was more of a decor thing, and I thought I wanted to give those as Christmas gifts. So anyway, I had a lot of that. So I thought, I've got that going. I did a little bit of research, see how people were doing everything, and then I just started on my own. And I'm going to show you some of these books and what I did with them, and then I'm going to show you how I started. So let me do that. Now, with this was the silicone mold that I used, and this was some more silicone molds, and I'm going to show you. I've got some of those molds here to show you, and I just glued them on the book. But there was a process before that, and I'm going to show you that process. So I got that. Let me put that on the side. Now, I wanted to use a lot of doilies, and I get a lot of doilies. I was getting a lot of doilies at the time from Esme at Crafty Me Shop because she still does. She had her treasure trove of beautiful linens and doilies and tablecloths and all these beautiful things, and I was picking stuff up from her, and I thought this would be the ideal place to use doilies because they would just add that right depth and texture to the book. And these I wanted to put glitz on, and the glitz that I put on I got over at Hobby Lobby. And I've got some ribbon, some velvet ribbon, because it was more in a fall type of decor, and I really wanted to go with that look. Some of these have pictures, and I have a little gauze behind them. Simple. This I happen to have a very large bolt of this kind of a burgundy wired ribbon, and I thought it added a lot to it if I were going to sell these, which I'm going to anyway, but this is what I wanted to show you. And to turn it over, you can see there's some amazing work in the back here done with napkins and with stamps. I have some with nice circles and with almost looks like wrought iron in some areas, and they're just so pretty. Some of the I guess you see over here, some of the napkins had little gold polka dots. Some had butterfly, beautiful roses, all sticking in with that theme of the gold and the burgundy and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's that. Again, same here, doing the same thing. By putting the napkins, you get that very crinkly look that I love when you're decoupaging napkins onto this. And it really gives it that amazing texture. Oh, I just had so much fun with this. And so, yeah, so I do have a lot of them. I made a lot of them. What I wanted at the time when I started this was to go and get 3 different size books and hardcover books and have 3 of the same size books. So I got 3 identical books in 3 different sizes. And I was originally going to stack them like so and stack them like this and have the 3 pieces together. But I thought, boy, they each took on such a nice personality of their own. I thought, I think I'm just going to let them be separate right now. So that's what I did. And I loved the polka dot. I've got to find them, see if I still have some of those polka dot napkins, because they added such a look. Can you see that there? And then this was the one with the napkins with the roses and stuff, and then the stamps here and the stamps over here stamped. And look at the back, how gorgeous is that? Oh my God, I mean, just stunning. So let me show you and talk to you a little bit about what I did, okay? We all have to figure out what we like to do by ourselves. Oh, and before I do, I want to show you that the pages of the book I glued closed with Elmer's glue, and maybe used about 2 coats, 3 coats, whatever you think it would take. And then once it was totally, and I had them down like this so they dried well, and then I painted them. So I will talk to you about that in a little bit. So how I started was that I went to the dollar store and I bought some hardcover books. And their hardcover books are $1.25. I mean, you can't really go wrong. I mean, to transfer something that's $1.25 and come up with something just gorgeous like this, I mean, this is a bargain. Now, even if you don't use the medallions, even if you don't use the air dry clay, you can still use napkins, you can still use your colored paints, you can still do that, and it'll look gorgeous, okay? But I'm showing you what I did. So what I took was about, I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 coats of ivory paint. Now, I think I had some chalk paint on hand. I might have used the chalk paint. I can't remember. Gave it those coats, set it up on the porch, on my, outside. I have a balcony. I set it up out there, let them dry really well. And then before I would do anything else to it, I used a can of, it's a matte, I think it was matte or satin spray sealer. You can get that anywhere that you would get your spray paints, and it's clear. This was really important in doing this because it layered everything. It didn't Mod Podge it all together, so that if you didn't like something and tried to take it off, everything came with it. Just your surface would, okay? So after I sprayed, I then used this, after I painted it, I sprayed with this sealer. And you don't have to put a lot. Just spray a little bit on there. That's done. Now, for the ones that I wanted to use the silicone molds, I had some really pretty ones, and these are very nicely made. And I got these, like I said, at Temu. Now, they have a lot of real detail in there, and this is a nice medallion. You would need to have some cornstarch with you. You have it on the side. I put it in a bowl. I take a small paintbrush, little paintbrush, and then I am just dry putting this cornstarch in there, every nook and cranny in there, because you want to be able to pull all that clay out if you're using the clay. So cornstarch in really good, and then start putting in your dry clay. Once that dry clay is in there all the way you want it, and I smooth it on the top so that when it sits down on your book, it'll be nice and straight. And then I just turn it over and then just start peeling it out. Once it's peeled out, then I glue it where I want to with white glue, just Elmer's glue. Oh, and Elmer's glue, they also have the white air dry clay is also under Elmer's, so you can do that there too. So you set things up the way you like there. And now I have some different kind here. This is another medallion that has the lady in there, and that's the one that I used here. She's here on this one. And on the sides, I used these sides. Now, because there's so much detail in there, you do lose a little bit of it. But you know what? As you're looking through it and as you're putting it together, it really doesn't matter because it still looks gorgeous. So you do that with the cornstarch, put that all in place. I do one at a time, and then you just pull this out, roll it, pull it out, glue it where you want it with the white glue. Now, finish doing your sides, doing whatever you want, all of that done first before you get on to anything else, okay? Also, if you're doing the silicone, there's some really nice long silicone pieces that go beautiful in the back or on the side of your book. And I do those the same way, and I do a couple of them because you're going to run short, so you're going to fall short a little bit here. So you're going to have to extend out a little bit in the back if you want to. This would be a little bit too wide, so you probably have to go to something about this width to go on there. Just kind of play it by ear. And the same way, I did the same thing with them with the cornstarch. Once everything was in place and I had everything glued on, again, I took the satin spray or the matte spray sealer, did all that, let that dry really well, and now I needed to paint the any embellishments that I put on there in the way of the silicone and the clay. So you want to paint that. So if you want to paint it ivory or whatever, however you want to do it, you do all that painting too and let that dry. After you've painted those, then you want to again seal. Once you seal those, you've got them painted, you've got the book painted, you've got all your pretty added things on there to give it this great texture. And let me just take this here. You got all this on here. Then you take your napkins, and most of the napkins come in 3 or 4 layers. So I'll take a piece of tape and wrap it around my finger, kind of the opposite way, so it kind of sticks to itself and it's all sticky. And then I use that to separate the different plies in your napkin, because you only want that first one. And on here I have some napkins that have some polka dots on it. They're gold polka dots. Oh my God, I have to look downstairs, see if I have more of them, because they're so pretty. So you're gonna put your glue down. You're gonna put your pieces of napkin. You don't have to do the thing with the, with your, a little paintbrush and some water to do. You don't need to do that. Just cut a little pieces of your napkin that you like, because you're going to be butting it up and squeezing it in and kind of putting it all over, because you don't have a whole lot of room in here. Then you take some others. This one was a floral one. I put that in there, just squeezing in wherever you have the room. And I did the same thing now on the back. You can be a little bit more generous with your napkins in the back, because I didn't put any of anything else up there. I didn't put any medallions or corners or anything. So what I did do was, once I had my napkins down and that was all dried and finished, again the spray, seal again, and then I went for the stamps. And these have some circulars, just some drama. They just need, it's dramatic. I loved them. And, but you need to have that area beneath it sealed. Otherwise, if you didn't like the way you did this, you can always try to, wipe it off. It'll come off. If you have it sealed, it'll do that. If you don't have it sealed, it's just going to smudge. So that's what you're doing. You're just kind of layering everything. Once all that was finished, then I started to put a little decoration on. I used my my doilies. I used a little bit of this is a burlap ribbon I had in my stash. There's a little bit of gauze here, some paper numbers, just something to fill in. But I did fill in a lot with these really pretty stones, and those I got from Hobby Lobby. They just fit in so pretty. I have them in a lot of different places here. Even if I didn't put anything elevated on there, I still put that there because it just looked pretty with the doilies and then the burgundy little ribbon. It all just fit in so well. So anyway, this is what I did. This is how I worked on some of these. I made a lot of them. There's 9. Then I made little tags to go along with them. I just had the greatest time with this. I loved it. I had fun. It took a while because it was uncharted seas that I was on. I was trying to do what I thought in my mind. Sometimes it didn't come out very well. I had to repeat some steps. Oh, and I do want to tell you about the paint. Let me talk to you about that. With this size of paint, if you don't have paint, extra latex paint around, or from your house painting or whatever, or you don't have any chalk paint around, you can go to Walmart, and this size of paint will cost you about 59 cents. They have every color. So you're good with that. But the gold metallic paint, I found only at the dollar store, and it's $1.25. And they had about 4 or 5 different colors there of gold. And I got it because, as you see, I goldified everything. So when I finished gluing with the white glue, and this was all done, I glued the front and the back covers together, so this does not open at all, so that's all glued closed. And then I started in with the gold, and that I did before all the cutie stuff that I put on. I did the gold. I set the gold in here very pretty. I did all that. I got it really nice. Some things I did with a light dry brush to give it a little bit more gold. I did that. This, I want it to be very, very shiny gold. This, I want it to be muted. So once I got the gold where I wanted it in pieces, dry brushed and all, then what I did is I took out antique wax. And I used that a lot. I happened on it probably at an estate sale because I get these things and I turn around, I find them. I'm impressed with myself that I picked those up. But anyway, I had the antique one, which is a little darker. I tried it, and some of it is nice. See, it's really dark here. That's from the dark antique waxing. And as I had told you, once you do anything, even with the gold, you're going to spray some sealer on there because you want to have all the different layers. So anyway, I also had a lighter wax, and I used that a little bit too. So those just happen to be the ones I had on hand. So there are a lot of steps with this, and it's not so bad if you have just one book, but I had 9. I think I just could not believe that I just kept this going for so long. And what I had in my mind, what I thought I would use to start and what I ended up with was totally different, but I love them. So anyway, thank you for listening to me. I hope that you got some inspiration from this, knowing that you can get a lot of this stuff at the dollar store, the books, you can get ribbons there. You can get some napkins. I think you can get some, I don't know if they have the fancier ones there. I get some of the fancy napkins I get at Goodwill too. I'm lucky there. I get a few things there. If you don't want to put any of that that fancy air dry clay in the back here, you can just paint it, and then you can put maybe some words of inspiration, or you can just leave it plain, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's that's your project. You can do anything you want with it. So anyway, I hope that you stuck with me till the end. I know this was kind of a lot of show and tell, but please know that I had a great time doing it and had a great time showing it to you. And I'm in the process of making a couple of different things that I've been working on over the past week and a half. And they're kind of out of my comfort zone. I saw some great ladies do it. One of them was Kathy's Garden, and she was putting napkins onto envelopes. And so my granddaughter and I were working on those. Because I was showing her, I didn't have enough time to really do mine as well as I would have liked to. So I want to go back and do that better before I even show you. And Kathy from Kathy's Garden, she did gorgeous. Oh, I was so impressed with it. Beautifully done. And we did okay. My Avery and I, we did okay when we were in Wisconsin working on it. Another one is G. Kerr had those art dresses, those little dresses that she can hang up on little hangers, and you can put them with probably with you could attach it to one of your papers with a little pin or something. I mean, they were just so beautiful. And I tried one way, I didn't care for it. Because again, I'll see things, it inspires me, then I put it off to the side. I don't want to even think about their way. I want to try it my way and do it my way. So it's different. So anyway, so I'm working on it. I think it might, we might be able to see it soon. Anyway, I just know that it's been about a week and a half since I've made a video, and I just wanted to say hi, and now I'm going to say bye. And this is bye from St. Charles on the Fox River. This is a gorgeous town, very historic, very gorgeous. also the home of Donnie Wahlberg. I don't know if you watch Blue Bloods or New Kids on the Block. He is a neighbor, and he is remarkable. I just love him to death. And they have their restaurant, the Wahlburgers, and if you go there, oh, it is an experience. The whole thing is an experience. So anyway, so bye for now. Take care. Do something nice for yourself. Kiss your family. Hold them close. And see you soon. Bye now.